the Kenya Kwanza government, UDA Kenya Kwanza government, to incorporate and nominate a member in the National Assembly for the purposes of legislation, and then formation of the Ministry of Juakali, Industrialization and Innovation, with the full set of the PS and the directors. This is when we are going to grow the economy and achieve the Vision 2030. Otherwise, I do appreciate His Excellency the Governor for recognizing the Juakali sector in your entire regime. Your Excellency, the incoming, we request you also to follow the footsteps and also have the county trade exhibitions, the regional trade exhibition, that is the NOREB, the national trade exhibition, and Kenya Kwanza. We pray that you have an industrial and innovation trade exhibition that is to last for 7 days in the Republic of Kenya and to be marked in the calendar of the Republic of Kenya. Sorry, I've forgotten something, Your Excellency. This one, for the recognition of prior learning, the first one in the Republic of Kenya to be done in Kenya was done in Eldoret, at the Eldoret National Polytechnic. Where is Tarcisius Makoba? That one, he graduated last year in panel beating and spray painting. So we pray that the Kenya Kwanza government to work on this one and a national launch to be done.
Asante sana. It is true, the Juakali sector is about innovation. Now that name ya Juakali progressively itabadilika. Siku ile tutainua watu ya sector hiyo watoke kwa jua. That name will have to change.
Thank you.
And the journey has just begun.
Thank you.
We want to tell you that the Jubilee government had a very good program for watu ya Juakali. You know, katika Big Four yetu, tulikuwa na component moja ilikuwa inaitwa housing. Tulikuwa tumepanga kujenga 500,000 units. Na hapa Eldoret ilikuwa 2,000. Ilikuwa hao 500,000 units, nyumba moja ilikuwa ipatie a minimum of 8 people wapate ajira.
Thank you.
We would have provided employment for 4 million Kenyans. Huyu mtu ya kitendawili akakuja, akasimamisha housing, akasimamisha universal healthcare, akasimamisha food security, akasimamisha manufacturing, akasema tuende BBI na rege.
Pole sana kwake.
Kwa hivyo kama kuna mtu ametia hii watu ya Juakali hasara, ni mtu ya kitendawili. Because with that program, ilikuwa milango yote ya hizo manyumba ilikuwa itengenezwa na watu ya Juakali. Madirisha yote ilikuwa itengenezwa na watu ya Juakali.
Thank you.
Mambo ya cutting boxes ilikuwa itengenezwa na watu ya Juakali.
Thank you.
Unaona ile hasara hii kitendawili ameweka wewe?
Kubwa sana.
Na sisi wote. So the good news is, in another 75 days, kutakuwa serikali mpya, kitendawili hata kuwepo. Hii program yetu ya housing we will resume vile ilikuwa tumepanga, tujenge 500,000 units to create 4 million jobs ya vijana wetu na watu ya Juakali industry waweze kusupply all the byproducts ya hizo manyumba. Kwa hivyo muko biashara. Mambo yenu si mbaya.
Asante.
Asante.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I now want to invite, on behalf of all the education institutions, Sosten Belat. This man here is the chairman, Kupet, Uasin Gishu.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, and all the protocols of SAP. Hamujambo. Mimi ni mtu wa bottom up. Walimu walinichagua na mimi ni mtu mfupi. So nilianza maneno ya bottom up. I want to present issues of teachers and education sector. And I will start from ECD. Koti moja wa governor. Please, our ECD teachers have been on contract for the last 10 years. We would wish that all ECD teachers be confirmed on permanent and pensionable program. Number 2, because it has been done by more than 15 counties, we don't know why it was engaged. We would wish that we have a UG program or a program for children to ensure that they feed well because of issues nutrition. On issues primary and secondary schools, I would wish that the national government ensure that FSC and FPE, free primary education funds are availed on time. Teachers and principals have been having very serious issues because money is not availed at the right time. I want to tell you this, capitation was done in the year 2006. Yeah, 920 shillings for primary school. We are in the year 2022 with capitation of 910 shillings per student. That one is not proper and that one is wrong. We would wish that one is corrected. I want to talk about issue of bursary. Bursaries should be up, especially for boarding schools, so that we can have our children doing well. I want to ask our women rep that the issue of sanitary towels, Madam Women Rep, of it should, you know, we are given condoms for free, and that one is voluntary. In Guinea, it's voluntary, now we are not given. I don't know what you are doing in Parliament. Kindly do something about that. The issue of Tibet, I want to thank His Excellency the Deputy President because he has done a lot in Tibet. We have very many Tibets in Wazingishu, at least we have about 7. We would wish that the body, Tibet, and any issue that deals with Tibet to be done appropriately so that we can have an independent body to deal with that. We are collaborating with Chuakali sector as CIVET and we wish that we enhance it. We have issues at university. I want to tell you, universities are broke. Universities are being closed because there is no financing. Some lecturers and even employees are going for months without pay. Universities are collapsing in this country. Bwana Deputy President, kindly do something about that. I want to talk about what were comrades' power. Maneno ya L, mimi nilisoma university 2004 huko. L bado iko kwa kapi ya 50,000 yenye sisi tulikuwa tukupewa. We are in the year 2022. Hiyo pesa iwekwe juu ya help alafu tutakuja kulipa baadaye. I want to ask lastly, I want to talk on issues because I am a unionist, issues union. Kama kuna serikali imeangamiza for the last 5 years. For the first time Nati kakufa. Mashida yenye tumepitia Deputy President, Mungu mwenye ako mbinguni anajua. Tunaomba mtuangalilie maneno. Let us have a working relationship with unions. I want to talk about job stagnation. Mwalimu wa high school ama primary school anakaa kwa job group moja for 19 years. I have a teacher anafunza hapa Race Course. I got 22 years kwa job group L. Hata wafanyikazi wa county pia. People are stagnating in a job group. We are demotivated and that's why governor, incoming governor, our watu wa agriculture hata wafiki huko. Kama umekuwa job group L kuanzia 1991 mpaka sasa hii, iko haja gani uende kazi? Do something about motivation. We have issues of lack of consultation by government for serious stakeholders. Ngoja kidogo, unajua education sector inapewa budget number 2 kwa Kenya. And it's a very serious sector. Kuna issue ya lack of consultation. Tumeletewa vitu nyingi kama walimu. Kitu inaitwa TPD, kitu inaitwa CPC. Hata hii CPC we don't even understand. Wameanza kwa high school last week. We don't even understand what is going on. We are not consulted. They just bring issues. Wanasema chache hiyo kwa computer. We don't even get anything. Let us have collaboration and well thought out programs that teachers have a say and those people who are key stakeholders. Issue of medical cover. Kama kuna watu wanaumia, unaweza kuwa mwalimu ukuwe na shida. Tunaomba wafanyikazi wote wa serikali kuanzia mfanyikazi number 1 William Samoei Ruto mpaka mfanyikazi ule wa mwisho tukuwe na health cover moja ndio mjue mashida tunapitanga. Unajua wangona wako na medical cover tofauti na sisi wafanyikazi wengine. So they don't understand what you are going through. For approval to tibiwe, mwalimu lazima approval ya 2000 shilling. Unangojea up to 7 hours ndio approviwe na minute cover. We are saying let us have one NHIF from employer number 1001 William Ruto, employer number 2 RG mpaka employer wa mwisho hapa sisi walimu. So that umujue shida yenye tunapitia. Kitu kama mortgage, kuna kitu kama mortgage and gap grant. Mortgage, unajua mwalimu unaweza pata hata 30,000. Sijui mbona ikuwe ngumu ufanye kitu ya 2.3%. Hata tunalipanga rent ya 10,000. Tununue gari. Hata sisi tuko tukidiscuss kwa staff room, wewe una ufunguo yako ni ya premium, ufunguo yako ni ya tusiko tunadiscuss maneno ya choka na tuwezi iba choka. So tunaomba mortgage mtengeneze vizuri. Maneno ya gap grant mtutengenezee vizuri. Lastly, Lastly, I would wish to, because of time, that in January, we shall be having grade 7 training junior secondary. We also have Form 1s going to secondary school. How 844. Kuna kisungumkuti itatokea kwa high school. Right now we don't have classrooms. Right now we have not even trained teachers. There is nothing. Na kutakuwa na problem. In fact, kazi ya Kwanza RG ni maneno ya hii program ya CBC. Haki ya Mungu hii kitu tutaletea shida. Because even teachers, we have very few teachers in this country. In high school, we are missing about 60,000 teachers. In primary school, we don't have about 90,000 teachers. Hiyo ni cap tu ndio tukue na mwalimu mmoja anafunza walimu 50. So kuna shida ya teacher deficiency. Lastly, tunaomba programs kama hizi. So employment of teachers. Kuna maneno ya Kenya private education sector, mtu mwingine ataongea. Tunaomba tu ukue na mkutano na walimu na unions so that we can discuss more. And then let us have midterm forums. After 2 years hapa RG ukue hapa, kotu moja ukue hapa, tukuje tuulize swali. Hii miaka 2, tusingoje 5 years. 5 years a lot of time so that they can answer us. Lastly, Mungu awabariki sana. Na haki ya Mungu nikubalie tu nisalamie ndugu yangu William Kabogo. Nampendanga sana. Mungu awabariki sana.
Asante, haya msalimie, angoja kidogo.
Asante sana. Governor mtarajiwa will answer you on ECD, on what can be done to convert the people on contract to permanent and pensionable. He'll also address mambo ya wage program. Hiyo unajua ECDs are the county government. It is true mambo ya FAP, the money for watoto ya primary, the capitation. It is something that is going to be reviewed because to capture the times that we are in today. Mambo ya bursary, that one you make sure mnachagua members of parliament who know what they are doing. Because hiyo pesa ni mingi. MPs have 137 million. Ambaye about 42 million ya bursary. If a member of parliament knows what he or she is doing, hakuna mtoto anatakiwa akose kusoma. Mheshimiwa Boshole will answer on the issue of sanitary pads. Mambo ya TVETs, unajua TVETs has been a good program under Jubilee, na mwenye kuiendesha ni Deputy President William Ruto. Saa ile siasa chafu iliingia, the implementation of TVETs and the equipping of those TVETs ikakuwa frustrated, so that to dim his star. We want to assure you that after these elections, Dr. You can be rest assured that the program will be back on course in full throttle, because it's a good program ya kusaidia watoto wetu. Mambo ya help, it calls for regulations. Hii watu ya BBI walikuwa wanatuambia ati wanataka kubadilisha katiba mambo ya help. It is not necessary. You only need the Ministry of Education in consultation with the National Treasury to do regulations, to determine the level of support, to determine the grace period before people get employment. So that is something that will be addressed. It is true, mambo ya union, trade unions has been suppressed by government. The Kenya Kwanza government has no intention.
Thank you.
Trade unions.
Thank you.
We intend to manage politics ourselves. Unajua ile mkubwa ya trade union amekuwa kama ni waziri wa serikali. Yule mzee Nyororo. There is no way the trade unions can function kutetea wafanyikazi kwa serikali na yeye mwenyewe anaongea kama ni waziri wa serikali. You know? But also the people of the trade unions, you also have a problem. Hii mzee mna shida mkirudisha every 5 years. Anashindwa kufanya kazi, anashida akifanya siasa na kucheza muziki ya Congolese. Alafu wakienda pale Tomboya College wanarudisha yeye. So that is something also the workers need to look at. What kind of person do you elect? Because if you elect a comedian, a clown, to represent the workers' interest, mambo yanu itasimama. But we want to assure you, the way NAT has been killed by the present government, our new government have no such intentions. The trade unions must be allowed to play their role.
Thank you.
Mambo ya CBC, much as we are having problems, you need also to tell us. We cannot wake up one day and overhaul the whole system. Do we review it progressively so that we involve the stakeholders? because mambo ya CBC iliharibika, because even when Waziri Amina Mohamed alisema ingoje kidogo, Kenya is not ripe, alilazimishwa kuendelea. So there was no public participation, na kwa hivyo vile unasema we are staring at a crisis. Unfortunately, it's a new government that will have to deal with it. But I would like to know from you, are you saying we overhaul CBC, or we have a review so that we retain what is good and what is possible, na turekebishe ile ambaye hapana iko sawa sawa? What is your view in that matter?
Your Excellency, sir, my view is that now that we have moved about 6 years, let us review and enable it to be better. I think that will be the best way out.
Absolutely. That we should be able to do, and set up a commission with those stakeholders, from parents, teachers, educationists, and all stakeholders to review so that we can improve it and we can make it more relevant and easy for everybody. Wacha tusikie, before the governor can answer on ECDs, both Sholei, there was an issue on sanitary pads.
Okay. Our incoming Deputy President, Karibu Wasingishu. And my apologies for being late. I was speaking about the economy at the Institute of Certified Public Accountants Conference. That's why I was late, and I apologize. On the issue of sanitary towels, actually, when the government started the program that they would give sanitary towels to all girls in public schools from class 5 going upwards to Form 4. That program started when Rachel Shebesh was in the CAS, I think, was in the Ministry of Gender and Public Service, headed by Professor Margaret Kobia. The launch, in fact, of the program I did here in Wasingishu County, and it started well, and we were able to supply the girls in the first year. Thereafter, that was in 2018. Thereafter, siasa ikaingia hiyo maneno. Unajua wakati huo sisi tulianza hiyo maneno ya inua mama na tukaanza kupiga serikali na hiyo BBI. And from that day, they said the biggest beneficiaries were the women MPs in that program, because wakaona kama inatusaidia kisiasa. After that, it was returned back away from the members of parliament and taken back to the Ministry of Gender. So kwa sasa wananchi, that is the reason why we must get rid of this, all these people who have been in this ministry. Professor Kobia, who's busy now campaigning for Martha Karua, is the one who took the sanitary towel program to her office and now has stopped the distribution. I don't even know if the distribution is happening. The other challenge that we had is there was a corruption scandal around it. They ordered all the sanitary towels for the entire country from one supplier who ended up being unable to supply. They should have split it in lots divided into counties. In fact, we requested at that time as women, and I raised it in parliament, and I said, why don't you allow us to procure it at county level using the county government process? Because that's the easiest way to do it. Even we told them, if you want to be in central government, let's use the county commissioner, because then it means the tenders would at least even be local, and even the local traders would benefit. So that we can put solely is a fault of one Professor Margaret Kobia. It's a shame that she's actually the minister of the minister in charge of gender. I think the other issue that Belat actually has raised, I don't know, is the issue of insurance. The issue of insurance, as you know, Mheshimiwa, we tried in Parliament to amend the National Hospital Insurance Fund law so that more people can be covered. In fact, the teachers or ourselves will not need to have private insurance if we transform NHIF. It will cover everybody. What happened? Atwoli took us to court to stop the law that we had changed. So si tulifanya party yetu, tulibadilisha sheria. Lakini Mungu ni mwema, juzi, without them knowing, when they were busy with BBI, we have managed to amend the law. You remember that. We managed to say that it will be charged according to percentage. So that I think the minimum economic team yetu ilisema is that we need, I think 500 billion or something, or is it 5 billion? There was a figure. So that is something that's being worked on, and I think it's on the desk of actually the current government. I know You may appear before the Economic Council, the presidential team. I've also appeared before the Health Council, and I have recommended the laws that need to be amended come September when we take over government. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you. Now, thank you, Bernard. On ECD programs, you realize that this is one of the default thing. I'm aware that there is ongoing confirmation of some teachers, but I will come and hasten to fast track to confirm all ECD teachers because they are working for this county. Secondly, I will wish that we establish some directorate through a legislation that will look into the welfare of our ECD teachers. Because if you look at their remuneration, 10,000 shillings is actually small money. And I would wish that we revise this money upwards so that this ECD teacher can also fend for himself and their children. In my Ngusokumi is what the pillars I stand on, and I hope for my brother, Professor Bitog, there could be something in agenda setter. We will just amalgamate this and see how best we can help our ECD centers. Finally, the feeding program, to me, it should have started us yesterday because we are more concerned about the nutrition of our children. So our parents, rest assured that the county government that is coming will take care of your children. The UJI program thing will take off as soon as possible. Thank you very much.
Your Excellency, sir, there is this issue of employment of teachers. Hiyo peke yake ndio umebakisha. Umejibu yote. Na Mungu akubariki sana.
No, we must progressively continue to increase the teacher-pupil ratio by training more teachers and by absorbing them to TSC so that they get a commensurate benefit. So that is something that will go on progressively.
Thank you. Otherwise, in Kupet, we say Kupet power. Nataka kuwapea bure. Kupet power. Asanteni sana. Mungu
asante sana. Asante sana. Nataka sasa niombe wale nitawaita tuseme kwa ufupi sana kwa sababu ya wakati. Mnajua naibu wa rais baada hako na program ndefu Nandi. Na ni lazima tumpatie time because anaenda kututafutia kura na kututafutia serikali. Nataka Lamek Mais kwa niaba ya PWDs useme kwa ufupi sana. Alafu Oliver Kipto kwa niaba ya sports ukuje hapa. Alafu useme pia kwa ufupi sana. Na mtu wa bodaboda nation naomba mkuje wote. Alafu Nora Cheserem utakuwa tayari kuongea kwa niaba ya high value crops, kahawa, avocado, macadamia, ile DG anajoanga sana kusema. Tuseme kwa ufupi tafadhali.
Basa, thank you so much, Chairman. I'll be very brief. I'm Lamek Chumba Mais. I've been given this chance to represent persons living with disability. And kindly, Chairman, this is a very sensitive part where we don't need to hurry up. Almost 10 points, and I'll be very brief. Point number one, we have, in our country, we used to say person living with disability. But for now, we say people with different abilities. So I'm going to start immediately from point number one. Our incoming Deputy President, we have identification card for person living with disability that takes a very long time to be processed. This one, we have person living with disability identification card. According to our discussion with person living with disability yesterday, and with small experience that I have in living with person living with disability cards. Person living with disability card, it takes a lot of time, up to even 5 years, so that somebody can be given that card. The reason is this. We have a lot of process that we are given by the government. Like utasikia, utaambiwa enda kwanza uasesiwe na daktari. Ukiasesiwa na daktari, unaambiwa hiyo form iende kwa ofisi ya person living with disability ya county level. From county level inaenda Afya House. Currently, as we are talking here, tuko na almost assessment forms in almost 7,000 yenye iko Afya House, na our 7,000 ni watu wanaongojea kadi yao. So our humble request ilikuwa hivi kwa Kenya Kwanza government, God willing, tunataka this issue of identification card to be devolved into the county level. Kama hiyo ID zingine za able people yenye wanapatiana kwa huduma, tulikuwa tunaomba every county, 47 counties, ikuwe na their own printing machine, so that to stop this issue ya kwenda Nairobi kutafuta card. Sometimes unapata mtu anatembea na wheelchair, anatoka all the way from Lodwar mpaka Nairobi kutafuta identification card ya disabled. Na ukifika huko Nairobi, we all understand our offices. Currently our offices, unafika huko unaambiwa amuna ofisi kwa kaunti yenu, na wewe naye ukipata chance ya kuuliza swali uambie kwa hiyo 5 years yote kwani walikuwa wanatengeneza nini? So it is really my humble request today, na hiyo imekuanga maombi yangu ever since. If those machines of printing person with disability cards can be distributed to all 47 counties, itakuwa very simple, so that mtu atakuwa anatoka tu anaenda pewa kadi yake, then watengeneza a body that it do their own assessment kwa county, because we are in a very different Kenya nowadays, because unapata mtu mwenye ana any disability anaenda sema any disabled pia na anapewa hiyo card, so that apata exemption. Ya pili, tuko na cash transfer. Cash transfer iko under Ministry of Labor and Protection. Iko cash transfer iko under Ministry of Labor and Protection. Huwa tunasikia those vulnerable people wanapewa 2,000. Lakini for your information, our incoming deputy governor, watu wenye wanapata according to my research, unaweza pata kwa watu 10 ni mtu mmoja anapewa. Na wamewacha watu wenye ukifika nyumbani wanabebwa from outside, wanarudishwa kwa nyumba, nao ndio wapate. The main problem about that one is channel of communication. Hiyo information ifikie watu nyumbani, it is very hard. So we are humbly requesting that hiyo ya cash transfer kukuwe na program whereby it will catch up with all people. Ya tatu, the cost of assistive device. We have these wheelchairs, we have hearing aids, we have these crutches. They are very expensive. Na ndio mtu afford kununua person living with disability, it is very hard. So we are humbly requesting you do something about that. Ya ine, we have education fee for person with... Yesterday, jioni tulikuwa tunasikia the other coalition ikisema watasponsor person living with disability for free. Nikashangaa kwani walikopi notes yetu jana venye tulikuwa tunadiscuss. Sasa we were humbly requesting that Kenya Kwanza wakuje na program whereby all person living with disability ama mzazi mwenye ako na living with disability na ako na mtoto high school to be sponsored fully. Kwa health, we have an NHIF cover. Tulikuwa tunaomba pia kama person living with disability tulipiwe NHIF cover wote. When we come to issue of employment in our constitution 2010 chapter 4 huwa inasema we have 5% of employment, but the main problem that we are going through today is discrimination. As I'm talking about discrimination, I'm sure my governor Mandago anajua kuna siku tulia discriminatiwa kwa airport, albino, and I was among them. Tukakataswa kazi atio mwingine una mkono when albino hiyo race ya airport itaku affect. Lakini barua tuliandika, hata my governor aliipata hiyo barua ndio akareply kwa hao watu wakaambia that's very wrong. So we wanted this 5% to be implemented. Wasiandike tu isiandike tu kwa constituency, but when it comes to implementation inakuwa ngumu. When we come to issue of assessment to government opportunities, tuko na hiyo card. Most of us wako na card, lakini recognition ya hiyo card. Mtu sasa akipata hiyo card na ana kazi, because ule mwenye ako kazi ya government huwa ni tax exempted. Lakini kuna mwenye ako na card na benefit with anything. So we want that card to be put in use. Tuko na maneno ya buildings. Maneno ya buildings, once the process of buildings is going on, either ikwe private or public institution, kukuwe na assessment ikwe to friendly to person living with disability. Tukuja maneno ya sports. I have my friend here who will talk on behalf of sports. Welcome. Then we have a driving license. Driving license, nowadays, person living with disability akiimport gari ni suppose akuwe tax exempted. Lakini unafika pale, unaambiwa lazima ukuwe na license yenye wamestamp class H. Lakini kupata hiyo class H peke yake kustambiwa hivi, NTSA wanasungusha mtu mwenye ako na disability kule hapa na mtu anateseka sana. So tunaomba sana from bottom of part of our watoe hiyo maneno ya class H. Kama umeona huyu mtu ana mguu, si already uko na akili umeona huyu mtu ana mguu, maneno ya class H itoke. Ya mwisho ni maneno ya nomination to the political parties. When we come to because it is also part of economic, na maneno ya leadership, it falls under economic. Tuko na maneno ya nominations. Tunaomba sana Kenya Kwanza, be very fair to anything comes to election ya person living with disability. Musipe tu mtu juu ya kujuana, peni mtu mwenye ako na roho na is a very aggressive kusaidia person living with disability. Otherwise, thank you. Let me give my friend aseme kitu about sports ya Paralympics.
Kwa haraka kwa sababu ya time, wenzangu ameongea kwa mambo ya sports. Majina yanaitwa Joseph Ochieng. Taongea kwa mambo ya Paralympic sports peke yake. Hiyo sports zingine au wengine watajiongelea. Kwanza we have our umbrella body ambayo inaitwa Kenya National Paralympic Committee of Kenya. Hii organization yetu, mimi naomba sana serikali ya ndugu yangu rafiki yangu William Samoei Ruto Gachagua. Ruto ametushia kwa sports miaka mingi akiwa mbunge kwa muda mrefu sana. The KNPC board hatutaki elections. The constitution is very clear. Hawezi kaa kwa ofisi miaka 9. Ikifika nini wakati kwenda nje, people kama ni rafiki ni sawa. Kama sio hawezi percentage upati nafasi. So tunaomba Kenya Kwanza, all the federations, football ilianza juzi, cricket ilikuwa na hiyo ugonjwa. Sasa pia tunaomba ya kwamba pia yetu ya Kenya National Paralympic, pia serikali ambayo itaundwa very soon na Mheshimiwa Ruto, iangalie the all federation katika sports. Jambo lingine katika KNPC, tuko na different KNPC it is umbrella body, lakini tuko na federations tofauti, ambapo federation tofauti tuko na wheelchair basketball, tuko na paravolley, tuko na archery, tuko na paracycling, many events. You see these events utaziona kwa TV. This event utaona watu wampanda ndege wameenda na pengine watu wamekosa nafasi. And good example ni kijana anaitwa Lamek. This is my product. Tulitoa high school tukampeleka national, akachaguliwa, akaingia kambi. Last minute this boy aliwachwa airport surely. Mimi last year nimeenda Tokyo, Japan. Nilitolewa kwa timu, Mungu wangu na Amina ndiye alinisaidia nikakanyaga Tokyo. Kwa sababu natoka wapi? Nje ya Nairobi. So naomba sana serikali ambayo itakuja ya Ruto muhakikisha kwamba sports ziangaliwe. Mambo ya trainings, viwanja. Hatuna viwanja. Mimi mwenyewe nimeanzisha timu hapa ya basketball iko, paravolley iko, tumecheza na waheshimiwa wengine na hizo courts haziko. Hata kwa wale wenzetu wale standing able wanalia facilities haziko. Tunaomba serikali, kwa sababu katika serikali iliyopita tulikuwa tumepromise ya kwamba kutakuwa na viwanja ngapi chini ya siku ngapi, na najua pengine shida ilitokea kwa mambo ile hatuwezi zungumzia, lakini naomba Bwana Gachagua, kwa sababu Mungu amekubariki umepata nafasi nyingine katika sports, to make sure katika county at least tuko na viwanja za kutosha. Manda Gamanza yake ndio hii na nasikia anakimbiza